Welcome to the Algebra final review. This is Standard 5. This is the second video. We're going to do basically problems 1 and 2 from your Standard 5 part of your review packet. We'll do the other ones in other videos. They're much too long to do in this video. But I think we can get through this one. I want you to remember what we talked about in the previous video, basically finding growth and finding a starting point for writing rules. So we're going to basically go over rules to tables and graphs, tables to rules, describing patterns, and so let's do those so you have some examples. I suggest you work them first, but here we go. Okay, in this problem they ask us to use the rule y equals let's see, let me see if you can say it. Y equals 3x minus 1. And they want us to complete the table and then graph it. So y equals 3x minus 1. So this is a little bit of a reminder of how to make a table from a rule. So here we go. We're going to start by remembering that we're going to plug in x values. So I'm going to plug that in like that. And then we're going to get a value for y. They've given us some up here that we need to do. So the first one is negative 2. I'm going to write it out. So the first one would be 3 times negative 2 minus 1. And I'm going to see what that equals. Negative 6 minus 1 is negative 7. So in my first block up here with negative 2, I'm going to get 7. Okay. The next one is 3 times something minus 1, and this time that happens to be negative 1. Negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4. So I'm going to put negative 4. Did I forget to put a negative on the 7? I did. Okay, now I'm going to keep going. Remember that I can also do this. I know the table's going to go up by 3 once I have some values in there. But I want to be careful because it'll only go by 3s if these are going up one at a time. So let's see. 3 times 0 is 0, minus 1 is negative 1. 3 times 1 is 3, minus 1 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6, minus 1 is 5. And I do see that they are going up by 3 each time. So 5, 8, let's see if that's right. 3 times 3 is 9, minus 1 is 8, yep. 8 and 3 is 11, and one more is, there's 14. So now I have all of these numbers that I can put on my graph. I don't need to worry if my graph isn't big enough to graph all of them. I will just go ahead and do what I can on the graph I have, or I'll use a different scale. I'm just going to use 1 as my scale because that way I'm not going to have to write it in and kind of get in the way. The first point, the x value is 2 and the y value is negative 7. So that would be the point, negative 2 comma negative 7. Remember the x always comes first, so I'm going to go to negative 2 on my x, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 7 on my y. The next one is negative 1, negative 4. Right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, yep. 0, negative 1, 1 and 2, and 2 and 5, and 3 and 8. And those are all in a very nice straight line. And so I'm going to go ahead and I feel confident, unless it was asking me some type of question like which value doesn't fit on the line. I'm going to be able to do it that way, and I'm going to feel just fine about that. Okay. Now they've asked us, let's see, so that's number 1, and I don't think there's any more questions on that. So now we're going to do something for number 2 real quick. As soon as we get out of the woods on that. Okay, now we're going to use your pattern detection skills to find the rule for the table below. Assume that the graph of the rule should be a straight line. So we're gonna do this like we did the previous one, and when we do that, I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. Remember, we're going to need to basically find a rule. Let's see, it says copy and complete the table. Well, let's see. If it's a straight line, and this is going up by 2, and this is going up by 2. Let's see, this is only going up by 1. So if instead of going up 2, maybe I will only go up by 1, because that would be half of that. So let's see what that pattern looks like now. Let's see, 2, go up by 1. I'm sorry, go up by 1, so that's 3. So we're going to have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That worked really nice. This is probably going to go to 5. Now, what do we notice about x and y in this pattern? We notice this. For every 1 that x goes up, y goes up 1. Or for every 2 that x goes up, y goes up by 2. Okay? Then it says find a rule. Well, remember, this is the rate. So let's do our y equals something, x plus something. Get over here for a moment. First, we want to find, well, we know the rate of change. It's going up by 1. And where did it start? When x is 0, what was y? 2. So that's going to be plus 2. So that's my rule. I wrote it there, but they're asking you to write it down here. So y equals, we don't have to write 1. Just write x plus 2. Okay. Now, that's our rule. Then they ask us to write the rule in words. And so, let's see if I can write this rule in words. Okay. So let's see, it was y equals that. So let's see. Y is a number plus 2. I can say y is 2 more than a number. And where I'm saying a number, I'm representing that's what we mean when we say the unknown x. It's some number. I can put any number in there, but y is always going to be 2 more than that number. And the way that we can tell if the rule is correct is we can go back and we can plug in some values from our table and see if we get the right numbers. So like here we get, let's use 3 and 5. If x is 3, 3 plus 2 equals 5. Good. If x is 5, then 5 plus 2 should equal 7, and it does. Okay. Now, those were the only ones we were going to cover in this video. So good luck with that. On the next video or two, we're going to try to explain the very complex process of writing the equation of a line from points and parallel lines.